can hear you.
All right. So today's session really is we're still continuing the planning structure, but we want to focus on prioritizing your to-do list. So
Okay.
the whole idea behind is that it's meant that you are meant to have done the GBS, gone the end point of GBS is that you have a to-do list,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you might have to do this for sales, to do this for marketing, to do this for your finances, to do this for this and that. You have them all over the place, but they're not prioritized. And I think, as you also may have also realized, is that because we are not chasing only one goal, and we only have 24 hours in a day, it can become a challenge, right? Trying to put all that. How do you distribute your efforts?
Yeah.
Vis-a-vis the goals you've got and all that kind of stuff. All right. And
hmm
again, this answer comes back to the overarching vision for your life, because we should be putting a lot more effort on the things that will give us more result in tandem with our vision for our lives. Does that make sense? So essentially, there's no point pursuing a goal that does not resonate with you, or that will not make you happy, or that will not bring that joy factor that we spoke about in the
Yeah.
beginning into your life. So at times, in setting priorities for your to-do list, do not forget your joy factor. Do not forget, the reason why you are here. That purpose kind of conversation. Don't forget, because again, to help you to make the right kind of priority call. Let me give you an example. If you got to make a call between, you know, um, making $1 million a year, but it will affect your health. Yeah. Maybe you're not going to be sleeping well, whatever. You got to then ask yourself the question, is it worth it? Is it going to fulfill my vision to use, which is using your intuitiveness to help people to create joy into the world? Essentially, it's about that balance. So fundamentally, first is do not forget that your priorities, when you're prioritizing your to-do list, you don't forget your joy factor, don't forget your joy factor. So that's
Yeah. I
what.
mean, yeah, you need to, it's funny, I was talking about that yesterday. You need to enjoy the journey, because really the goal is just the end point, but there's a whole walk towards that end point, isn't there? So if you don't enjoy the walk.
Yeah, so I think there's something that Tony Robbins used to say, which I find quite important. It says that the goal is not as important as the person you become in the
Yeah,
process.
yeah. Well, that's just the point of goals, isn't it? It's for you to grow, not for you to get.
Yeah, so it's the growth, it's what we become along the way.
Yeah, because
So
it's the growth that gets you to the getting. Yeah.
yes. So and therefore we want to set priorities based on um, our joy. The joy, key thing is very important not to forget about the joy. Right. So let's do our statement of intent. I don't know whether statement of intent is working, but we are going to do it. So, all right, I'm gonna go for it.
I commit to participate in the program fully and will not permit myself to have any excuse why I don't follow through on my commitment. So help me God.
All right, is it working for you?
The statement of intent.
Yeah. Is it working? Is it working? It's working. Oh man.
To a degree. To a degree. I have caught up.
Yeah, you have. At least I spoke with you this morning. It's good. You have caught up. You caught up. You're still in a better position than some, which is good. All right. So you're moving in the right direction. Okay. So what we want to do today, the key focus today is still part of our planning. We want to take all the tasks we've gotten from the GBS, right? We want to prioritize them. I mean, that's what we want to do today. Try and prioritize those tasks so that on the basis of the prioritized list of tasks, I then want you to do vision boarding. Does that make sense? So we won't be able to do vision board today, but I'll just introduce it. Next week, I want us to do host a vision board party. Yeah, that's what I want to do next week. So when we get the to-do list done, you have clarity around what should be done first and what order, and then next week we can come in and do the whole vision boarding and affirmation.
Yeah.
And then from there we'll move into execution. Then we're in the flow. All right. Okay. Cool. So what is priority? What was it priority? What is priority? Priority is a category that identifies the relative importance of a task or goal. Priority is a category that identifies the relative importance of a task or goal. Keyword relative, which means you get to determine how this task is of more importance than this other task. Yeah. And it's usually based on impact and urgency. Impact and urgency. And it identifies required times for actions to be taken. Sorry, Tok is not able to join today because she's traveling. Right? She's traveling today. So I think she said when she's in a place where she can talk, she will maybe like in a lounge or something, she can join. So she told me ahead of time, just FYI, guys. Okay, so priority is a category that identifies the relative importance of a task or goal and is based on impact and urgency. All right, and impact and urgency are used to assign priority using the action priority matrix. So what we want to do today is use the action priority matrix to help us to prioritize our actions. The reason why we are prioritizing actions is because I'm sure everyone on this call, you probably have maybe 15 goals or 10 goals or 5 goals or 7 goals or 8 goals that you've written down that you want to achieve. But not all of those goals can take the same amount of energy from you. Yeah, because if it's just not possible to assign the same amount of energy to every single goal on your list. It's not possible. It's just not possible because we have 24 hours in a day, and these things are going to be competing for your time. All right. So you see on the right hand side, you have the impact and the urgency, right? Or impact and the effort, as it were. So you see here, impact, high and low, effort required from you, high and low. Right. Now, in the quadrant where you have the right-hand quadrant, you have major projects, you have quick wins on the left-hand quadrant, you have feelings on the bottom quadrant, and your thankless task on the other quadrant. In the next slide, I'm going to be explaining what each of these means and then what you should be doing about them. But the key thing to know is that those tasks you've written down, that you've extracted from your GBS as your to-do list, that's the activities that are serving as your commitment to things you are going to do for your goals. You know that you want to obviously put some sort of systems in place to ensure that those things can be done. Question now is, how do you go about doing it when you have, let's say, 100 things that you're going to do? So, for example, when I was in that session with you this morning, you have a lot of tasks, all over the place. I'm thinking, man, how do we go about that? So this priorities matrix is going to help us to be able to do it right. So let's look at what are the categories of the action priority matrix. So quick wins are things that require high impact. They will have a high impact, but low effort. So the proverbial what's it called? Low hanging fruit, right? They are quick wins. Okay. So you get into a project, you look at things that you can quickly achieve very quickly, and it will impact people. So for example, as contractors, if you go get a new job, you have to find quick wins, right? So that within 2 weeks you can impress somebody, so that you can keep that job. All right. So quick wins are things that you can get quick results from, but require less effort from you to achieve. Right. So they are the most attractive projects. They give you a good return for relatively little effort. Focus on this as much as you can. Why is quick wins as a category for prioritization? Why is it great? It's because you see, when you achieve quick wins in anything you are doing, you get the motivation to keep moving forward. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? If I'm going to run a hundred, let's say I want to run a cross-country race, and I start to get quick wins in my 100-meter, I keep telling myself, oh man, I can do that. It was like when I was learning how to swim. Yeah, I didn't learn how to swim when I was when I was a teenager. I learned how to swim when I was an adult, and I learned how to swim out of what's the right word now? I don't want to use the word shame, but out of frustration, really, because when my children were younger, we would go to swimming pool and they wanted me to swim with them and I couldn't swim. I'll be paddling water beside the pool. And the only thing I could do with them then was, I'll jump in the pool, I won't swim, but I will carry them on my back, right? And I'll be doing Humpty Dumpty, jump on a wall inside the pool with them. I think as I grow older, I'm thinking, man, this is going to be embarrassing because these children, they really want me to be to swim with them. So I told myself, Davis, this year you have to learn to swim, right? And then I was in Bulgaria. I got a swimming instructor to come to the hotel. There's a lady, she teaches me like twice a week. She'll come in and teach me how to swim. But she couldn't communicate in English, So she'll take a YouTube video and be showing me. I should watch the video and but how could you learn to swim just watching somebody in the video? It's just not gonna work, right? But she would just be telling me, she would start to speak to me in English, but she couldn't speak. I couldn't speak Bulgaria. We started using sign language, but cut the long story short, I did something that I know a lot of people would not believe. I started learning how to swim, and then I did something. I started doing visualization. So I would lie down on my bed in the morning. I would just visualize myself swimming in that pool, doing long strides. I would stay there, enjoy it, and then I would stand up. I just walk to the pool and start to swim. And guess what? My swimming began to improve considerably. By the time the woman came after 3-4 weeks, I could swim properly. She was like, "What happened?" I just told her, "Listen, I can't explain to her visualization." I just said, I practice in my mind. That's what I told her. All right. So, but the very first time I started to do that and I started to gain some quick wins in terms of being able to swim, maybe a meter here, 2 meters here, it gave me a booster of confidence that says, I can do this. All right. So that's what quick wins is all about. The things that you can do quickly, that you can get very quick results. So who can tell me, what would a quick win be for you? What would a quick win be for you? What would a quick win be for you? Want to try?
I guess for me, a quick win would be in terms of marketing. I've drafted a referral letter, not a referral email, just to people in my list of my network, asking them if they know people that who'd be interested in what I do, and they can refer me, and for them for a referral bonus, that kind of thing. So that would be a quick win, I guess. Took about half an hour to do.
Yes, low effort and high impact, because if any one of them picks it up and it's actually very easy to convert people that are coming to you from word of mouth, right? Because people in your network will say, "Hey, I know Abner is my friend, talk to her," kind of stuff, So that's a quick win. So low effort, quick wins. Fantastic. All right, let's look at major projects. Major projects give good returns, but they are time consuming. This means that one major project can crowd out many quick wins. You see, they give very good returns, but requires a high effort. I'll give an example. Recently, we worked on a project in the US. We helped a startup company to build some B2B, B2C platform. And it was high impact, high effort. I mean, if I get 3 of that project in a year, then I'm good, really, because I was really making over 200% in profit, from that project, right? But it was high effort because I had to coordinate teams across multiple countries and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was a major project, which is high impact, good money, but it also takes high effort. Okay. So that's an example of a major project. So therefore, if you have something that's going to give you a high return on investment or a high return on your joy factor, which is also going to then require a bit of time, then obviously that should take a priority. Give an example. When you were doing your, I'm talking to Abner now, when you're doing your stuff with Bob Proctor, you need to pay attention to it. It will take a bit of your time, but you know that if you can take it to the end of it, it will yield result for you. So that's a major project. Okay. Yeah. The challenge is also that you don't want to be doing a lot of major projects all the time, though, because it means that there might be other things in life that you won't have time for. But you should at least have one major project in your life at any point in time. You should at least have one major project that you're trying to achieve at any point in time. Okay, who else wants to help with one major project that you want to talk about? One major project or one, task that you think is is classed in the major project category from your own life or from your own list. Remember, it's high impact, high effort. Anybody? Anyone? Okay, let's move on to feelings then. Feelings. With feelings, do not worry so much about doing these activities. If you have spare time, do them, but draw them or delegate them if something better comes along. These ones are low impact, low effort. Low impact, low effort. Okay, so there's no impact that is going to give you. Is low. It doesn't require you to, it requires low effort on your part. Which one task will fall into this category?
That's what I was thinking. Have you got an example?
Yeah, watching TV. If you plump yourself down in front of that TV, there's no effort there, low impact, especially if what you are watching does not relate to the direction that you are going.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So this one, you do not want to do that. Unfortunately, you cannot delegate somebody to watch TV on your behalf. Your favorite your favorite Netflix series. You cannot delegate somebody to watch it, but you can make sure that if it's minimize that. So for example, the key one is that if you have spare time, the number of times that you've worked so hard during the day, I just have some time, just say, I just want to chill out, right? Yeah, you sit down in front of TV and then you watch a series. Before you know, you spend an hour, 2 hours there just watching the series. But the thing is that if you tell yourself, actually, you know what? Be disciplined enough to say, okay, I'm just going to watch like, let's say 20 minutes. And then you have something that's as stimulating. For example, it might be a book, it might be a game that you play that will, that will not be a wasted effort, right? You should just switch the task like that. But these feelings essentially are things that you are using to fill in your spare time. So, and we all have spare time. No matter how busy we say we still have some spare time every single day. The question is, how well are we using this spare time?
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
Spare time, should we not use it for, leisure, to just relax?
Yeah.
Like, for example, the whole day you've been working hard.
Yeah.
And it's evening time, you want to unwind.
Yeah.
And you just don't want to do anything that requires any effort. You just want to plump yourself in front of the TV and just relax. So,
yeah. And I'm not against that. I'm saying that the feelings are okay as long as it doesn't become binge watch. It's essentially at times, okay, I'll give you an example. The reason why I personally do not like watching series is because before you spend 2 hours. You say, oh, I just want to watch one more. Oh, just want to watch one more. Before you spend 4 hours there. And then when you stand up, I don't know whether it happens to you. When you stand up thinking, okay, I've spent 4 hours now. What have I gained? This thing. Yeah. And I can start to feel funny. Oh man, I just wasted 4 hours of my life. But the way I've now started doing it, I started watching documentaries that align with where I'm going. So for example, this last week, for example, I watched this movie called Self-Made. I don't know if any one of you watched it. Self-Made is on Netflix. I highly recommend it. It's a movie about a woman that came from poverty and became one of the first self-made millionaire in the US in the 1920s. She had a product. I think she was selling air product, whatever. Yeah, and it's an absolutely beautiful movie.
Madam CJ Walker.
Yes, I enjoyed it so much. So now if I spend 4 hours or 3 hours, even 2 hours watching that, when I stand up, I'll say, Davis, you have just educated your mind. You have been challenged and encouraged by the life of this person. So it's a feeling that requires low effort and possibly low impact, but I've been able to turn that low impact now into something that it can give me a kickback in me to say, look, if somebody else has achieved this, then you too can do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Abby, are you good? Did that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, please remember, we're not saying do not watch TV. Please, I hope you understand that. We're saying
I totally get it. I understand
minimize.
what you're saying, yeah.
Yes, minimize it. All right. The last one is thankless tasks. Low impact, high effort. This one takes a lot of our time. Yeah, but it has no impact. Who can tell me what this one is? Thankless task.
Scrolling on the internet.
What? Just you're just scrolling down on Instagram. Okay, which other one?
Taking care of the home.
Abba, how can that be?
No, is it thankful? Who thanks you? It's not like your kids thank you. I don't know.
But when you clean the house, creates an ambience, right? That makes your brain to function very well, which will help you in the achievement of your goal, right?
Okay, I thought you said, people thanking you, actually saying the word thank you.
All right. No, what I meant by that is that it's a thankless task in the sense that it takes a lot of your time. It doesn't give you a high return at all, in fact, a little return in light of where you are going, and it takes a lot of your time.
Yeah, that's housework. It doesn't really set you towards your goal. I mean, ideally, what you want is a cleaner to come in and do it.
Okay, all right. So what we say here with the thankless task is delegate them. So, for example, actually, not a bad one. You got a thankless task on your list. You think, oh man, this is taking too much of my time. I should be here now doing something else. Just get a cleaner and say, hey, dude, I'm going to pay you 20 pounds or 30 pounds. Come and clean my house. Actually, if you can do that, you can delegate that. Actually, I actually don't disagree with what you said. You can actually say, this house chore is taking so much of my time. Cost benefit analysis. If I spend, $50 or £50, I'm going to get 2, 3, 4 hours back. Therefore, that 4 hours, the trick here is the 4 hours you're going to gain by delegating that. Are you going to apply to a quick win? That is the real question. Because if you're going to gain the 4 hours and you put it back into filling task, then you've literally lost on both sides, right? Abby, are you with me?
Yes, Kemi, I am. Sorry.
Kemi, are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Have you watched that movie before?
I am.
Okay. You watched that movie. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? I think it's Night and Day, Tom Cruise. Beautiful movie. Yeah. Cameron Diaz was the one that did that. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? All right. So let's try and avoid this task completely. Thankless task, they give us no return. If you delegate it, whatever you get, please apply to your quick win tasks. So how do you run activity priority matrix? Step 1, you need to list out the major activities that you want to do or you need to complete. So for example, social media posting, webinar, and so on and so forth. Those things that I think I've run through that with Abina earlier this morning. You list out all those things. Yeah. And then step 2, you score this on impact from 0 to 10, where 0 is minimum and 10 is maximum. And on effort, again from 0 to 10, where 0 means no real effort required and 10 means major effort. Then you can plot it on this action priority matrix based on your scores. So you might have, if it's possible for you to have 5, right? 5 impact, 5 impact, 5 effort. That will stay right bang in the middle of the thing. So you just need to rethink it properly and ensure that you are doing the calibration properly. Then you now prioritize appropriately and delegate or eliminate low impact activities. Did that make sense? So let's do a bit of role play here. A bit of role play. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I've got an example spreadsheet here that I'm going to show you. So this spreadsheet is courtesy of mindtools.com. You can go there and download them, but I think it's very good. All right. So share my screen. You see my screen? Are you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we list all these activities and then we plot it on this graph at the bottom here. All right. Yeah. Okay, so Abina, we're going to use you as an example, right? So do you have the to-do list that you want to share with me?
Okay, hold on. Let me. Could you allow me to share them, please?
Okay, anger. All right. Yeah, giving you calls, right?
It's still disabled.
All right, sorry, I think I gave it to Abby instead.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. Go for it.
Okay. Okay, so I've just put it. Can you see the goals workbook?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just basically this is where we started off with the anatomy of a goal.
Yeah.
So I just basically put it at the end, basically.
Yeah.
Because what I want to do is to break them down into quarter goals. So I want my month goals.
And then daily goal, possibly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, then the daily one, but all right, I've lost the damn thing now.
Do right.
Oh, okay, here it is. Okay, right. So so what I've done is, you know, in terms of category sales, so this is what I was trying to take it from the Miro thing and copy and paste it across, and it wasn't necessarily really working properly. So if, for instance, with sales, we take, you know, I've got 3 sales strategies. I've got doing the webinars, networking, that's direct sales, and, you know, breaking down the components of that. And then social media, using social media as a sales strategy. And then there's a marketing side of things as well. So I just thought those are quite big areas anyway.
Okay.
So if we take those and put that down, and then the marketing, you know, there's a whole breakdown of things that need to be done.
Okay, let's start with the sales. Let's scroll up the sales.
Yeah.
So with sales, you have, you know, this webinar, we have, under webinar, you have set date and title, collect list, where to advertise, create webinar cover page, and so on and so forth, right? So those are tasks under the webinar funnel with the webinar sub category or something like that, which is under sales. Okay, so let's focus on that first. Okay. So out of these 3 tasks under this webinar, the first one, set date and time, effort and impact.
Well, effort's minimal. The impact's huge because that's going to drive what I create in terms of on you know, my adverts and stuff like that.
All right, so what you should do on top of that, you know, where you have in line 3, you just put effort there in the column B. That way you have B, just put effort. Then in column C, put impact. Okay, now if you go down to line 4 now, it's B4.
B4.
Cell B4, yeah. To the left, to the left, to the left, to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So put the effort required. Possibly
0
1.
being what, minimal?
Yes.
Yeah, that's minimal.
Okay, impact.
Impact's 10 because it determines what I'm doing, doesn't it?
Okay, then collect list, where to advertise. That would require some effort, right?
Yeah, that's definitely going to require a bit more effort. So I'd say about 7 in terms of effort.
But this is just to collect lists though.
So yeah, I need to just basically collate the list of the different social media sites that I'm going to advertise on.
I see what you mean, like Facebook groups and
Yeah,
kind of-
Facebook
okay.
groups. And I need a list of so apart from where to advertise, it's the different media social media groups, as well as people to contact.
Okay.
People to contact directly.
I see what you mean. Essentially, you're thinking of the audience required for. Okay, yeah, good.
Yeah, so for where to advertise, for instance, would also be, say, Eventbrite as well.
Yeah, and also reusing previous what's it called? Previous attendees, right? Sending people, right? And then the other thing you can do also is buying influencers a contact. So, for example, if you have somebody who's already got 100,000 people on his list, you can basically partner with them where they allow you to come and talk to their whatever, and then you have access to that email address at that point in time, and I think they might have some sort of sharing formula or whatever how they do it, right? So that requires a bit of effort, right?
Yeah. Because even one segment of this, everything I've written down, would have its own effort.
Yeah. Okay. So what number do we want to give that?
Should I say about 7?
Yeah, I think 7 sounds about right.
Yeah,
and impact will be 10 as well, right?
That's definitely 10, because again, that determines, your attendance.
Yep. And the webinar cover page and Facebook posts.
Yeah, that's about 7. So it's basically creating the Canva pages for the the ads, basically, for Facebook, your cover pages and LinkedIn, and also just the posts generally.
Does this one include the funnel, the webinar funnel, because the webinar funnel to opt-in pages and stuff?
No. This is just the Facebook cover page. The webinar, that reminds me, but that's easily done. I have to create a landing page for the webinar.
Does it take you more time to create the landing page for the webinar compared to webinar cover page on Facebook?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, the landing page for the webinar, I do have a landing page already. It's just around changing the dates and also making it look a bit more professional. At the moment, it doesn't look particularly professional. I mean, that would take more effort than obviously doing the Facebook cover pages.
That's what I thought.
The Canva stuff, that'll probably be I would say about 6. I think doing the landing pages, for me, it's probably at least about an 8. In terms of effort,
because you need to optimize it, you need to do A/B split testing and all that kind of stuff, right? If you create the first one, you actually need to test it to see that it works properly. If it doesn't, you need to go back and optimize it. And also, all right, and the impact is 10. I think the other one is 10 as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, unfortunately, well, they're all 10s because it has an impact on the actual webinar that you
cool.
Your attendance.
Let's go to network sales. Okay, you have more. Okay, let's network sales. Network sales, right, is another category, right? So top 30 contact. We spoke about getting top 30 contact that you can reach out to. Now, these top 30 contact are people that are either, I don't know whether there's some people with you that would you just run through your phone to just get them.
Yeah, this is a direct sales. So this is people within my phone book that either I know or have associated with. So there's two types of contacts there. There's people that I'm going to approach for referrals and people that I'm going to directly approach about what I'm doing. So, I mean, I've created the top 30 contact list for the referrals this afternoon anyway.
So what effort was required in doing that?
It actually didn't take, it took me about, say, 30 minutes. It wasn't too much, actually.
All right, that's it. So that would be a low effort then. So maybe 2 or 3. Yeah. What do you think?
About 3 then.
Okay. And again, as impact is huge, right?
Yeah, impact's huge if you get it right in terms of you're able to get referrals out of it. Because I'm asking everyone for 3 referrals. So if everyone gives you 3 referrals, that's potentially 90 referrals.
Okay. All right. All right, follow up.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, this is again big impacts, because it's literally people I reach out to about my my services, just following up with them and, you know, seeing where they are, because there are people who say they want it, and then after they get off the phone with you or whatever, they suddenly start, you know, the usual, they get scared thinking, oh my God, I'm going to invest in this.
Okay, so I want you to create a column in column D called next steps. Yeah, in column D called next step. Yeah, that place, call it next step there.
Oh, okay. All right, I've got that anyway. Okay.
So what I'm thinking about here is that where you have the follow-up already contacted, right? So for that one, it will require a bit of effort, right? Does it not? Yeah, line 11.
You mean the follow-up? It doesn't require, well, it does require effort in that obviously it's part of my lead generation thing that I do in terms of follow-up, right? It's part of my usual lead generation. Effort-wise, I'd probably say about a 6, but I think I'm saying 6 just simply because it's more around, I don't always find it easy to follow up, because I don't always necessarily know what to say to people in terms of why have you disappeared again?
Okay. I think your follow-up here, let's break it down into 2. There's follow-up via email, and there's follow-up via actually calling somebody on the phone, right?
I follow up usually on the whole via WhatsApp first. Okay. And then if we need to get on a call, I don't really do email follow-up. Okay,
I was thinking of anything here that can be systemized, right? Where you have an autoresponder, something sending stuff for you. So for example, if somebody hasn't, so again, remember I spoke about commitment and support systems when I was talking about GBS. So here I see an opportunity where we can say, if somebody I've contacted somebody before, is there a way that I can get a system to mark that this person was contacted, and therefore the system you have template that you have created before that can then, you know, send them follow-up emails. And therefore, if you have that, then the effort becomes minimal because you have systemized it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a thing that you need to think about. So
yes, because currently at the moment it's all very personalized in terms of, you know, I'm following up 24, 48 hours after we spoke. I've sent you a particular video or whatever. How did you find it? You know, so
I think there are 2 ways. You know, some people get what they call enrollment coach. Yeah. And an enrollment coach will help you to follow up people, get them into a call, follow up on them until they get converted, and then you give them a commission, or you pay them a salary, right? Obviously, you're not in that space yet. But the things you're doing at the moment are literally like manual.
Exactly. I need to get to a stage where things are automated.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's where you need to get to, and the way to do that, right? Just from a strategy point of view, is if they have come through to your webinar and you have their email address, you should try and use the email marketing chaser email as much as possible as the first set of things that will help you to weed out. Because again, remember, you don't want to spend time on thankless job. You know, this particular job is thankless because is good for your business, right? That you are chasing people up because it's part of your getting on the phone and just calling people and talking to them. But how many can you do? You know, so you can't do much. But if there's a way, you can. What I would call it, I think you need to think of some sort of indoctrination email, right? So, for example, I'll give you a typical example here. If you've sent something to somebody before and they haven't responded, you could send them an email chaser, right? But email chaser is not going to be email chaser like that. It's going to be like an email that is proposing that they get on a free course. You know what I mean? So you send them an email, if they're on your email list, just say, hey, by the way, you know what would you like to do to know about where you are going in life? or I've got this or a free course here for you to take, no obligation, right? That way, you are seen as adding value to them first before you then say, oh, by the way, have you considered thinking of, getting on that program? So it could even be a free book. It could be a free book, or it could even be a free YouTube video that you found that has, that's been a blessing to you that you just sent to them. Am I making sense?
I mean, yeah, that's what I usually do, but via WhatsApp, individually.
Yeah,
so,
that's not going to work.
Yeah, long term, that's not going to work, because obviously the more clients I have,
yeah,
because I will eventually need to automate.
Either automate or hire somebody to do the work. You can get some virtual assistant in Pakistan, not Pakistan. Some of these I don't know,
Philippines.
Some
That's where they all seem to be.
Yeah, and then you just pay them, $10, $5, or whatever, and then they just get the job done. So yeah, but that is what you should be thinking about here. Yeah. Okay. So in light of the reality of where we are now, so follow up already contacted. It's taking you a lot of effort then to do it.
Yeah, it does take a lot of effort, because I mean, it's part of my lead generation / follow-up that I set aside a couple of times a week for anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. You remember this, the whole idea about this about prioritization, right?
Yeah.
So what is the effort here? From 0 to 10.
I'd probably say about 6.
Okay, 6, impact, huge. 10. Yeah.
Well, again, 10 if
yeah, that's fine. All right, so that line covers 12, 13, and 14, because these are things that you need to consider how to do it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to line 16. Okay, so online post, select groups. So here you need to first of all do audience selection, right? Essentially, you need to think about what is my target audience. So we've been speaking about your brand story, right? Your avatar, as it were, right? Okay, so determining your avatar takes a bit of effort, but it pays huge dividends, right? So I think you should have define your avatar. Maybe you've already done it anyway.
Yeah, that's been done already.
Okay. So let's script that. So the assumption here is that line 19 is premised on the fact that you have done your avatar already. So you selected the groups.
So it's really around determining, as you say, the audience in terms of where does my audience live? Where are they on social media? And also in terms of where they are on social media, is it Facebook, is it Instagram, or is it LinkedIn?
Yeah. Then, so you haven't done this bit then, yeah? Have you?
Sorry?
This audience audit, you haven't done it, or have you done it?
Audience audit.
Yeah, you haven't done it.
No.
All right. Okay, so that's a huge thing that you have to do. So I think this one requires a lot of effort. But if you have done the avatar, it should be pretty easy, right? Because essentially, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I don't know what you need to get this audience stuff done, because if you're thinking about where am I target audience, where are they based? You need to first of all define the target audience first in terms of professionals and so on and so forth. And that information you can get on Facebook easily. You can get people's the audience group where and you might not probably get where they live, but you can get where they are congregated. Right. So I think you need to think of this one required a bit of effort. But it will yield this impact.
Yeah, and then just generally, it's also just in terms of the strategy, it's actually literally creating posts and then posting in groups.
Yeah, that you definitely can delegate.
Posting in groups, well, I mean, which I do anyway, and also in my group, And because the key really is around getting engagement, which at the moment I'm not getting much engagement in my group.
In your own group that you have formed.
Yeah, there's not much engagement there. But I think it's more around the strategy in terms of I post stuff, you know, interesting stuff, but I don't necessarily post questions that will trigger people to actually.
Yeah. So should that not be an action then, a task around researching into the type of content that will promote engagement? That should be an action that.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, I've got a list of content that promotes engagement anyway. So I need to more create the posts.
Okay, that's fine. So with the creating the post, let's look at, so you want to create a post. So let's look at what effort is required to do that.
Effort for me, it's quite a big effort. It's around 7 because I spend a lot of time faffing around on Canva, which is why I need to learn it properly.
Okay.
Yeah, the more time spent on trying to get the Canva post right, then so.
Okay, so that's 10, right?
Yeah, the impact's definitely, because again, it's about getting the engagement so that I can actually then go into, you know, get somebody talking and then tell them what I'm offering.
Okay, so I think you need to find time to then do the rest, right? You recategorize this and let's do it. Let's just go back up. I want to see where we are, right? So the first one is low impact, low effort, high impact, low effort, high impact, low effort, high impact, low effort, high impact. That's quick wins. So that's quick wins, yeah. So with quick wins, there are things you do quickly, right? Okay. Then the second one is high effort, high impact, high effort, high impact. That's a major project. That will be, is time consuming. It can crowd out many quick wins, right? The same thing happens. So you see 7, 8, 6. Sorry, line 5, 5, 6, 7 seem to be quick wins. Big project for you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then line 10 is low effort, high impact, right? No, sorry, low effort, high impact, low effort, high impact, quick wins. That's a quick win. So that's a quick win for you. Yeah, which we know is a quick win, yes, because you can easily get them out. But follow up is not a quick win. Follow up is high impact, high effort, which is a big project. So it seemed to me, of all these 6 activities that we have looked at, yeah, you have 2 of them that are quick wins, 4 of them that are big projects. And so if you want to prioritize them, right, you should put the if I want to prioritize this now, just go to the prioritization, right? If you just go to column E, for example, just priority, yeah, priority, yeah, based on what we've done, so that then you can use the rest to do it. Is that okay? All right. So the way to think about it is this, yeah. You know, because impact is 10, 10, 10, 10 for them, then the determining factor would then be what is the effort, right? Okay. So number 7, line 5, line 6, sorry, line 6. Yeah, that will be my number 1 priority. Why? Because the effort there is higher than any other one, and the impact is the same, right? And then I will go to number 5, which is line 5, which is my number 2 priority.
Why is not number 6 number 1 priority? Surely the number 1 priority should be creating the webinar pages so I can start getting it advertised out there.
Which line are you talking about?
7.
No, I'm using it based on the effort that you see, anything that will require, that will have a higher effort and higher impact, should be on the top agenda, because that is the one that will give you higher return on investment. Do you understand what I'm saying? The way to think about it is that if the effort is going to be much and the impact is going to be much, then that's going to take a lot of your resources, right? Therefore, it should be coming on your priority list. So there are two ways to look at this thing, yeah? Quick wins are things that you can easily get done, boom, boom, boom. It doesn't take too much of your effort, but you're going to get quick benefits. And you should spend a lot more time doing quick wins, because that way you are, so it's like somebody who's running a business, right? Anything that will give you quick cash flow, you should be doing it. But you should not lose sight of the big projects. So if I have a project that will give me, I'll give you an example. There are some things that I do that easily I'll get 1,000, 2,000, whatever. But there are some proposals that we write that will make 13,000, 20,000, 40,000. Yeah, that it takes longer to convert. So I will still need to put them on the priority list as the bigger project. I want to look at it because they'll give me bigger chunk of money back. But the ones that are quick wins, I don't lose sight of them. That's the way to look at it. So based on priorities that you set here, I'm basically saying the one that has a higher effort and higher impact should have a higher priority than the one that has a slightly lower effort but the same impact. So if you want to make the webinar cover page to be a higher priority, then you just need to make it 7. You know, make 7 and just,
I see. Okay.
Just swap them around. Yeah.
Okay.
Because see, if this line 7 has effort of say 2, for example, is minimal effort and higher impact, then I would do it, right? I would do it quick, because it's quick wins, right? So I see where you're coming from. So the other thing you can do is you can turn that into, if you're the one that would do it, that's why you have 6. But if you're the one that, if you're going to delegate this one out, then reduce the effort to 2 because you can delegate it.
Oh, okay. This one, I'm not sure whether it's being delegated out yet. So I'll keep it as me for now. And obviously if it's delegated out, then I need to speak to her to find out what the position is.
Okay, so that would be 3. Line 5 would be 2. And line 11 would be 3 as well. Because
line 11.
Yeah, where you have, because you have 6. The effort is 6, right? On both sides.
But how can you have the same number priority?
It means that they require it means that they ideally shouldn't. Okay, let's make it 4.
Okay.
Let's make it 4.
When it comes to scheduling, then when they're both 3, how do you schedule it?
Number 4. Yeah, so just do the rest of the prioritization.
Okay. Should I stop sharing? Hello?
I'm gonna give me 1 minute.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm here. Okay, Abena. Yeah, so I think what you should do is then just go through the rest. This is just to show an example on how to do it. So I think the takeaway action is for let me share my screen.
So should I stop sharing?
No, I'll just pick it up. So the takeaway action is to have that, which is, we've just done this role play practicalizing activity priority matrix, right? And then the action I've asked is to take your to-do list and prioritize them. So Abner, you already started with yours. Kemi and Abby, I think you just need to, once you get to that point, just do yours as well. Is there any question on that before I quickly do the vision board? Is there any question on this approach? Is there any question you might be speaking? You're on mute.
Not for me.
I'm asking Abby and Kemi.
Not from me.
Okay, cool. All right. The last point here is the vision board, right? So, Sakemi, you know about vision board, right? Do you do it?
No, I don't.
Okay, do you know about it?
Vision board. Maybe I don't call it vision board, but is it? Oh, I listened to it actually. Yes, where you write the things you want to achieve and you can easily see it in
Yeah.
every time you go. Okay. Yeah, I remember. Yes. Okay. So yes, I can say I know. I know about it.
So next week we will have a vision board party, all right? Which means the things you want to achieve. You don't have to come with all of them. It might be just your main goal. You need to find pictures that tell the story about it. So as you can see on this screen here, you have this person wants to make a lot of money. Just went to put pictures of dollars and put them on the board somewhere where he or she can see it regularly. Person wants to have a yacht, goes get a picture of a yacht, a bicycle, wristwatch, and so on and so forth. This person at the bottom, the picture at the bottom left-hand corner is about people who want to get married, or maybe possibly going on a honeymoon. Had a picture there, and then the person wants to buy a house, got a picture of a house in there, So with the vision board thing, I just want to explain some things that I found out in my own personal life. So before we move into this house where we're living in, I put the vision board on we wanted to get a house. I went to take the picture from the developer, stuck it on my wall, I was looking at it, but I didn't have any money at all, and we kept on going around trying to get a house. We knock on one door, knock on two door, and then there was a particular one we saw that we thought, oh man, we're gonna like everything that happened with that house was so planned by God. It was like my wife found the house. We just stumbled upon the house, beautiful house, and we didn't know who the owner was. The agent said they can't tell us. One way or the other, anyway, my wife found the landlord through some sort of internet search, went to the guy's house, knocked on the door, and said, I said, your house is so and so, we want to buy it. The guy was so shocked. He said, how did you find me? Well, I said, don't worry about it. The guy was so impressed. I said, look, listen, when the house comes out, you are going to be the first person that I'm going to sell to. That the house was going through some sort of court case or whatever. I think the guy didn't pay some money. The bank wanted to take the house away and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, cut long story short, I was still looking at this board. I was still looking at the house. This is my house, looking at that, and then the guy came out and said, okay, it's time to sell. And then we had a price in mind. I think we had about 750,000 or thereabout in mind, but he wanted to sell the house for 800 and something, I would say, no, that's too much. We tried to negotiate, say he wouldn't take it. So we just told him, listen, we're beyond our budget. And so we just didn't go through for it, and we just kept believing God, we're looking at what we want. We just keep looking around for the house. But when this particular house we're living in then came through, the way it happened, it was so, in fact, it was far, far better than what we have put on the wall. Yeah, it was far, far bigger than all of the houses we have seen. Everything is bigger, better than what we were believing God for before, and eventually it came through, no stress. We haven't bought this house yet, but we bought it in this thing already by faith. We bought it already. We already had an agreement with the landlord that the house is going to be sold to us. We've agreed the price, everything. It's just when she's ready to sell, we just pay her, right? But where I'm coming from is that at times when you put something on the board, you say this is what you want. From my personal experience, you always get better than what you put on the board. You always get better, right? You don't get less, you always get better. Why? Because God always gives us better than we ask for. Okay. So when I ask you to come and do vision board next week, don't say, oh, I don't believe in it. I'm telling you the truth. What you focus on grows in your life. Mr. James Allen wrote a book that says, As a Man Thinks. But that book actually was based on the Bible. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so easy, which means what you focus on constantly, you become. So the purpose of the vision board is to try and help you to create pictures in your mind of what you are believing God for, what you are believing for. You want to keep it in your eyesight. You want to constantly keep it in your eyesight. Now, in module 1, I spoke about RAS. Who remembers that? RAS.
Oh, your reticular
Activating system. Yeah. And reticular activating system is a small, I don't know what to call it now. Is he an organ, or I don't know what to call it? Something at the back of your brain. It's just a small lump at the back of your brain that controls what is filtered through your brain for you to focus on. And the way the RAS works is that, if you start to think of something that you want, like I want to buy a Jaguar, everywhere I go, I start saying Jaguar, because that's what my focus is on. Is the RAS that is bringing that into me constantly. All right. So the whole idea behind this vision board is you have something that you can constantly look at. Now, if you have an excuse and say, oh, I don't want to get a board up, you know what I did? I'm going to show you. I don't know whether I don't have it here, but I'll show you on my phone. So what I did here, I'm going to share my screen and show you on my phone. You might not see properly, but what I did was I went to take pictures of the things that I wanted, yeah, and I created a goal board, a vision board on my phone, yeah, so that I can easily just go there and say, okay, this is what I'm believing God for, right? So you can also do that. So the way most people do it is that they so I'm trying to find it. The way most people do it is that they get a board up. They take the goal and say, for this goal, this is what it means, and they put the pictures that represent that in there. But what I did was, here I have a vision board here, which shows you probably won't see it, but it has a bunch of pictures in there in a collage format. All right, and that basically shows you what I'm believing God for. You can see the house, you can see stuff in there. Right, so that's the way I've done it. Even my best-selling author thing is here, which I got on Amazon, and stuff like that. Being debt-free is on this list. I have to be debt-free. I achieved that. So, you can do that. All right, cool. So that is what that this last slide is talking about. Essentially, it says, put it where you can see it. So in my case, it's on my phone. I just flip through it, I see it, and that works. All right. So visualization is a powerful tool. It helps you to see in your mind's eye what you desire. Okay. So the only way that visualization doesn't work is, at times when you look at it, you should feel the energy. And this morning, when I was praying with some people in the morning, I explained the right way to pray. I said, if you have an idea you want, go into that future and step into it like you already have it, right? And then feel the joy, the emotion of owning that thing in that future. And then carry that consciousness everywhere that you go. Then next week, we're going to talk about the power of affirmation, how you can use affirmation as well to support that. But the key thing is, the Bible says I think it's Mark chapter 10, verse 24 says, when you pray, believe you have received what you pray about, then you are going to have it. The Bible says it is when you believe, when you pray, that you have received it. That's when it's going to manifest. Okay, so this session here is talking about creating a vision board. All right, so please, next week, come and let's have a party or a vision board. You can do it on the phone. I'll show you an example of mine. Just take pictures of what you want and put them together in an album. Put them together in an album on your phone. Just create an album, call it 2022 goal, and take the pictures in there. So when you are walking about with your phone, you can just check it out and just remind yourself that's what you're believing God. All right. So that's it from me. Any comment, question?
Not from me.
Okay, Kemi, any question?
None from me for now.
All right. So in terms of next week, I expect everybody to have caught up by next week in terms of what we're doing. And then let's come next week with to do. We're going to be doing vision board next week, and then vision board and affirmation. So just take one of the goals. I'm going to do some vision board next week, and then Abner, if you can work on those prioritization, it will really be helpful. So that at least I can help, even if it's just one of your goals, just help to prioritize it. At least you can then take the rest and work it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.